Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy, as most of you guys know, and it's been a minute. I have been absolutely busy as hell. I haven't put out a YouTube video in, I would say, probably almost 3 weeks at this point. The social media posting has been rather limited. Just as a long story made short, I closed on a house with some land about 2 weeks ago at this point, but the entire process leading up to it was not easy by any extent. Navy Federal, which was my original lender, dropped me 2 weeks into closing because they wouldn't accept my income as a fireman. Don't know. That's kind of weird. But so I had to go through a lot of hoops and do a lot of really weird things that were a pain in the ass to finally close on this house, but we did it nonetheless. And then since I've moved in, it's been nonstop projects, guys. Even the events of the world set aside, there are many things that need to be done, but it makes those things even more important right now. For instance, I have a truckload full of compost because I'm filling all of my raised beds right now, and I'm planting my cornfield today. I have chicks in the brooder. I'm clearing woods to bring my horse on property. So there are many things that need to be done. And unfortunately, as much as I am go, anytime I am not at work, I don't even really take any breaks during the day. And that's not like a, oh, boo-hoo, poor me type thing. That's just how it is. I wake up early, I get outside, I start grinding away, and then I lay down and go to bed, 11 o'clock, midnight, which is normal, which is not normal for me because I'm an old man and I go to bed early. But that is not the point of this video. Hopefully next week I'm back onto somewhat of normalcy as far as bringing content to YouTube and posting on social media. Even though it has been delayed because I actually got the patches 2 weeks ago, life has gotten in the way. Tomorrow, the Minutemen Patches make a return to the Everyday Sense Tactical website, which is very exciting. And then we still have some IFAKs in stock. I think we've sold about half of them so far. And I'm hesitant to buy more and go back to a normalcy of being fully stocked just because of fund allocation, just with the business and with everything going on in the world right now. I'm trying to manage my personal funds tightly, specifically given all these projects that have to be done. Nonetheless, Minutemen Patches will drop tomorrow being Friday, June 10th. And I think this goes without saying, guys, is if you're not doing the things at this point in time, if you're not prepping, if you're not training, if you're not taking a little extra time to better yourself, you haven't started a garden, regardless if you're in a suburban neighborhood or you're out in the country and in the sticks at this point, you're behind the curve. You are. There are a lot of reports coming out that gas stations regionally throughout the United States, in different regions, I should say, are starting to run out of gas more frequently and are starting to shut down. Sorry, I have a lot of dump trucks that come up and down my road because there's a dump site down the road from me. The gas stations are running out of fuel before the end of business, and they may be closed for a day or two until they get more fuel. I know in central Kentucky and southern Indiana, that's kind of started to become an issue. Not to mention that gas is now $5 or more in most places. It's right where I live. It's right on the crisp of $4.99. Some places it's a little over $5, but you go north of me, right into Ohio, you're looking at, $5, $5.15. In Indiana, you're $5.15 to $5.30. Some places you're looking at $6 or more. Diesel's over $6 now. So things are going to start getting a lot rougher, and the things aren't going to collapse all at once, just like we always talk about. I believe we'll probably start to see rationing of resources sooner than later. That'll probably be the first steps. You come to the gas station and your pump shuts off at 15 gallons. You go to the grocery store and you can only buy 2 of any kind of meat, regardless of what it is. Or your transaction is limited to X amount of dollars to spend within the grocery store. Whatever that may be, whatever form that takes, you need to be ready and you need to be thinking about that well ahead of time. Whether that is becoming self-sufficient in a sense. Damn trucks. Whether that is becoming self-sufficient or that is stockpiling to a point where, you know, if for some reason you cannot become somewhat self-sufficient on like water collection and, you know, a garden, maybe some chickens, goats, whatever that may be, if you can't do that, you need to be kind of overcompensating on the prepping side. You need to be making connections, both for, you know, if you have a group, which I very much encourage everyone to have some sort of group, whether it's a mutual assistance group, whether it's a Minuteman group, whether it's just a group of just preppers with no title whatsoever. You need to be making connections and you need to be talking with those individuals. And another thing that everyone needs to realize is we're coming out of the stages where prepping and training is, you know, kind of fun, hang out with the boys type thing. Not that it shouldn't be that, but it's grind time, and it's becoming more serious as time goes on. Unfortunately, it's just kind of what has to be done. You need to start battening down the hatches. You need to start grinding away. You need to start, you know, doing the finishing steps to the overall plan that is your preparedness and your self-sufficiency. I didn't really make a lot of notes for this video as far as news and everything like that. My brain is fried with all the news on top of just being able to do all of these things. But nonetheless, you need to be doing the things. Get together with friends, communicate, spend money wisely right now. Spend money wisely. If you're in a fair amount of debt and you know you can't get out of debt within the next 6 months to a year, continue to make good payments on that debt, but, you know, allocate some money to, you know, your prepping. And I don't mean like, oh, I have a $1,200 balance on my credit card, I'll just leave it there and I'll go do that. So I'm talking like, unfortunately, you're like $10,000 plus in credit card debt, and you're probably not paying that off in the next 6 months unless you just come across good money. I know I don't have just random $10,000 over 6 months laying around to just not be spent. Nonetheless, analyze what is going on in your life and what you can do to better your outcome in the future. That's all it is, guys. You know, what you do right now and in the coming months matters more potentially than what you've done in the past couple of years, and it will greatly affect how or what happens in the next couple of months when things get iffy. Gas starts to run out. Chicken is no longer in the market. Wheat products are super expensive because supply is limited. Whatever that may be, there's a storm coming, guys. It's all a matter of how you prepare to face that. As always, guys, train hard, train often.